fifth-round pick drives it toward the back of the end zone.
And he's on the mend, hoping to get him back by week 1.
They do get Jordan Reed back today, as I mentioned. Doxson will not play, and that is a quick completion to Niles Paul and a big hit.
Deciding to bet on himself once again this year in 2017.
Handoff is to Rob Kelly. And Kelly's about 1.5 yards short of the first down. So Clayton Fedulum makes the start. On third down, a first down carry for Rob Kelly. And a flag is down.
Illegal shift, offense. 2 men moving prior to the snap, did not reset for a second. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Cousins. Protection breaks down, and down goes Kirk Cousins. It'll be fourth down. It was Chris Smith that got in there. He was traded from the Jaguars over the offseason. And he is forcing his way onto the roster for the Bengals. Had a good preseason. This is Alex Erickson. He fakes a reverse, and Erickson to the near sideline. Flag is down. And so's Erickson as he crosses the 30.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back, receiving team number 89. That penalty is declined. During the kick, holding, receiving team number 57. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
So 3 flags. They play great. They say, well, this was a real confidence builder. This was good for the squad today. There's Marvin Lewis. In his 15th year as head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, that is the second longest tenured head coach.
Their right tackle last year. We'll see if he plays better than he did a year ago.
Handoff is to Hill again. Third down and short coming up after a gain of 3. Andy Dalton did not have a great year last year. He's had a nice run.
Anchor the middle of that defense.
Third down and 4. Dalton, good protection. Pass is caught. First down, A.J. Green. But a flag comes in at the very end of the play.
Pass interference. Offense number 81. Half the distance to the goal. Third down.
But they call Croft with the penalty, and that negates the first down.
Third down and 13. Sideline, what a catch. That's A.J. Green again, and one of the best in the game.
Just one of a number of guys who missed the end of the year.
That's Hewitt in the backfield alongside Joe Mixon, the rookie, and Dalton is going to give it a go. Just got it away, 2nd and 4. Quick throw, first down, and a nice catch out to the 45-yard line by Tyler Boyd, a young receiver they like a lot. Handoff is to Hill, and Jeremy Hill is into Washington territory. Pass caught. Green. Just shy of the 40. His first team offense has yet to score a touchdown this preseason. Flag down. A.J. Green is down. Just outside the 35.
There's no foul for offensive holding. Second down.
So the play will stand. A 4-yard completion to Green.
They made it awfully tough on themselves.
Here's a toss to Mixon, the rookie. And he's going to lunge for a first down. Dalton has started 4 for 4. He'll hand off here to the rookie, John Ross, who set a combine record.
It's got to feel good for John Ross finally getting a touch this preseason.
Labrum surgery, he's getting his first action. How about that move by Mixon, first down. Dalton, pass incomplete. That's his first incompletion of the day. Tyler Croft. The Bengals willing to give him a chance. And we'll see what the future holds for number 28. Jeremy Hill gets popped. Third down and 11. Pass is caught inside the 5 for a first down, and there's Green again.
Able to do on this drive. This has been impressive for the Bengals.
Here's Hill. Touchdown, Bengals. And the first first string offense finally has a touchdown in the preseason.
You're going to see the power they bring across. They pull the left tackle. He kicks out along with the guard and opens up a nice hole to finish off this drive for this Bengals offense and a touchdown.
9 minutes off the clock. Bullock for the extra point. 7-0. Bengals on top. It's got to feel good for Cincinnati. Bullock to the back of the end zone, and Hazel takes the knee. Good tight end, Jordan Reed. Jay Gruden calling the plays. Cousins keeps it. And a dangerous throw, incomplete for Rob Kelly.
At the bottom of the screen, but he's not as accomplished as Deshaun Jackson.
Quarterback. Here's Thompson trying to bounce it. And so far, not very good for this Redskins first string.
They've been explosive as a big play offense the last couple of years.
Cousins ripped to the ground. The ball was out of his hand. It's an incomplete pass, and we'll see if they call grounding.
Intentional grounding, offense number 8. 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down.
Here in August, and they've not looked particularly good here in the early going.
Tress Way punts it. Tyler Boyd from just outside the 30. Nowhere to go. Well covered downfield by Washington.
Y'all got 5-4. Randa's up.
Mixon in the backfield. He gets it. Tries the left side, and this time well played. Up front, Preston Smith.
Energy from Phil Taylor has come from. He's had an outstanding camp. He thought really one of the best linemen they had.
Mixon puts the ball on the ground, and let's see who's on top. Washington.
He closed his hands before the ball ever got to his pocket.
That doesn't work. Opportunity for Washington from the 31. Wide open, Jordan Reed. Missed the majority of the action with a toe injury on his left foot.
Crowder, he's missed a lot of time, of course, Reed and others, and that's difficult to get some chemistry.
Protection. Pass is way overthrown for Reed. 3rd down and 4. Cousins flushed out and sacked. Brought down by linebacker Carl Lawson.
But he comes here in the 4th round, like you said, and he's done a nice job.
Hopkins knocks through a 51-yarder, but after taking over at the 31, that drive. 1 yard of offense for Washington on 3 possessions. Here's Erickson. Really good kick returner, and he's becoming a better slot receiver. A flag is down as Martrell Spate.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 89. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Eifert played only 8 games last year. On 1st down, aired out down the sideline and incomplete with 15 seconds remaining in the quarter. Handoff to Bernard. And the Redskins defense with Zach Brown, the newcomer from the Buffalo Bills, in to make the stop, and that'll do it. 3rd down here for Cincinnati. Pass caught. That's LaFell. And a good tackle by Breland.
For the 1st down, which he was able to do. It's a good stop.
Huber to punt. It's Will Blackman. Blackman just shy of 40. 49ers. So good luck to Bobby. Handoff here to Rob Kelly on 1st down. And Kelly picks up 4.
This is obviously a team that likes to throw the ball, push the ball down the field, but he's hoping for a little more balance this year.
Blitzer came late. Pass is complete. Cousins got smacked. Redskins looking for their first down, and they resort to running it with Cousins. And there it is, their first fresh set as Kirk Cousins gains 8.
180! What's up?
Handoff is to Kelly over the right side. And Kelly just keeps fighting for 5 yards.
And he can move a pile himself.
He can also lift a smart car, which he's done. Pass is caught, nope, dropped. Terrell Pryor, and I think he might have been looking toward the end zone.
To get on the same page with some of the nuances of running routes.
Now 3rd down and 5. Pass is picked. Intercepted by Burfict. And Vontez Burfict, with only Cousins in his way, is in for the touchdown.
He's in man coverage on Chris Thompson, but because he goes over the top, I think Kirk Cousins lost sight of who was in coverage then on Thompson, and as he turns to cut it loose.
Well, that was a bad sequence. The drop by Pryor, and then the interception.
Able to practice together. They've gotten in these games. The offensive line has not given them great protection in this one. And offensive football is about rhythm, and they've just been unable to find it now through 3 games. And you struggle again, and you do tend to press.
Here is Kelly breaking loose. Biggest run of the day, and Rob Kelly takes it out to the 45 and beyond.
That's what they have in mind.
Redskins had 22 yards of offense prior to that 21-yard carry, and now Kelly pushing the pile again.
That you're able to kind of take it all into totality and make that decision on what you want to do.
Here's a throw for a first down to Vernon Davis. And Vernon Davis, a 2-time Pro Bowler, and
he's had himself a nice career. He's been a good addition for this Redskins team.
Obviously the longtime 49er. Here's P. Ryan. And was with Denver.
Jake Gruden's nephew, Deuce Gruden. That guy. Kidding me?
That's John's kid, right? Here's Kelly down inside the 30. 3rd down and 1. Hand off to P. Ryan, and he is a power back. Flag is down.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 13. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Kirk Cousins lost weight over the offseason as well. It's on the Tom Brady diet. Cousins. There's a catch by the newcomer Pryor. Tougher than the first one he dropped at the 21. Kelly. Running game starting to click in. It's Carlos Dunlap.
It's got to be a spot on this roster where he can play.
2nd and 5. Play action. Pass caught. Tough catch by Crowder. No challenge flag. Kelly doesn't get in.
Here he is in the slot right now. We'll see what he's able to do on this.
11th play of the drive. Handoff. Touchdown, Rob Kelly.
Foul here. He hits the nose, and then he comes off of that and takes on the linebacker, Vincent Ray. And that's what allows the Redskins to punch that in for the touchdown.
So Burfict will head into the locker room. Hopkins with the extra point, and it's a 4-point game with 5:10 left in the half. Trey Carson back there as well. And it is a line drive Bryce Harper would be proud of. Year 19-10 here at home to the Giants. It cost them a playoff spot. Not the way they wanted to end, as the pass is intended for Brandon LaFell and Rashad Breeland. On 2nd down, pass caught by LaFell. 3rd down coming up. Breeland's been busy. Dalton has to leave the pocket. Flag is down. And so's Dalton, well short of the first down.
I think they're going to get the right tackle, Jake
Illegal use of
Fisher.
hands to the face. Offense number 74. Penalties decline. 4th down.
And they get Jake Fisher with the penalty.
Huber punts it. Blackman from outside the 20 near the 23. Nice little move.
Are with all of those that have been impacted throughout that state.
Victoria, Texas hit hard. Here's a pass to Thompson with some blocking in front of him. Chris Thompson down inside the 45.
Rock. What is it? What's up?
Delayed handoff. That's Kelly to the 40. You see they line up Niles Paul at fullback. He can.
Ever since that interception by Cousins, we've had a lot more urgency the last drive, and then of course this drive as well.
Here's Thompson on 2nd and 7 down inside the 40.
That's a great call.
Kind of excited about calling plays again this year.
That's on Cincy, and it
Neutral zone
is.
infraction. Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
6'2", 260. 2-minute warning in Landover, Maryland.
What is that?
Pass is caught. Jordan Reed. Nick Vigil made that tackle. First-year starter this season for Cincinnati. Here's Thompson. Broke a tackle and gets a first down. An impressive run by a guy who's not that big, 5'8", 191.
The last two possessions, if the Redskins are able to punch this in.
Cousins gets hit low. A flag on the hit. The pass incomplete. And Washington just wants to see Kirk Cousins
Offense
get
number
up.
71. 10-yard penalty. First down.
He looked good against what is one of the best tackles in all of football.
Here's Crowder on a receiver screen and picking his way through the Bengal defenders to the 21.
Squeeze. Rhino! Done!
2nd down and 9, and the pass incomplete for Terrell Pryor and Kirkpatrick.
Eddie! What's that?
Now 3rd down and 9, blitz. Redskins pick it up, end zone. Pass incomplete for Reed.
Halftime promos I've seen from Menifee.
39-yard try is pushed, but a flag before the snap.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And Sean Laval.
Even Mark Bavaro came out singing his praises the other day, so see what he's able to do this year.
That one hooks its way in there off the right foot of Dustin Hopkins. 4 of their 6 picks were on offense.
Well, those 3 teams that selected on defense, they needed some reinforcement, have needed a lot of help.
That's just
They have enough bodies, and so now they will, and a lot of these guys won't be playing next week.
That's incomplete to the far sideline for A.J. Green.
Players, you know, are some of the later round draft picks, free agents, and lost a lot of friends when we made cuts my rookie year.
There's Giovanni Bernard, who hurt his knee last year.
There's some depth to this roster that they got to concern themselves with.
Handoff for a first down to Bernard. And the Bengals.
College, so he kind of knew what he was going through on this rehab, but just 8 months ago, and here he is back on the field playing already.
Dalton out to his right, pass is caught. That's the tight end Croft, and a good tackle by Josh Norman.
Certainly has my respect.
2nd and 8. Aired out down the field, up for grabs, and incomplete. 3rd and 8, likely final play of the half.
Hands up!
It is. Barring a defensive foul, Giovanni Bernard padding the stats, and off to the locker rooms they go.
Marvin Lewis and Jake Gruden sit down these starters.
An update on Vontaze Burfict. He passed the concussion protocol, so that's great news. He's out for the rest of the game, but that's not surprising at all. Here's Tony McRae on the return.
For him, but Elway denied it, Marvin Lewis denied it.
Here's Mixon to the 20. I mean, you realize with A.J. McCarron.
And A.J. McCarron did not get a postseason win for that performance.
Handoff to Mixon, 2 yards short of a first down. So they'll go down the road with Dalton here, and it could turn McCarron into a high pick. Maybe a player and a high pick if they wanted to go that way. Toss to Mixon from the 29 after the 7-yard carry by Mixon. McCarron finds the slot receiver Erickson. And Alex Erickson, who could work his way into this offense a little bit more this year. McCarron, after play action, incomplete.
Yet to catch the ball as a receiver, and I know that Marvin Lewis would like to get him more involved.
Aaron Andrews, somebody who can run like that, is valuable to any team. 3rd and 9. McCarron avoids a sack and finds Alex Erickson. Depends on what they give him for forward progress. Pressure by Martrell Spate right there, and McCarron did a nice job to keep the play alive.
Just not quite enough there to convert on the first down, but he's got big playability. He's going to help A.J. Green on the opposite side.
53-yard try by Bullock. Been perfect during the preseason in his competition with 5th-round pick Jake Elliott. Will Blackman takes a knee. He's going 9 for 16 for 100 yards and a pick. Quick setup and throw. And a drop by Jamison Crowder. Hey, Tony Gonzalez, welcome to Fox.
They're in a good division going against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're the top 2 teams right now. Derek Carr, healthy, coming back. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. If he can get back to that form when he was out there in Seattle.
Deep into the postseason, that'll be interesting to watch. And Jack Del Rio's done a great job in Oakland. Coming underneath to Vernon Davis is Kirk Cousins, and Davis.
Look like a pretty solid football team right now.
Hey Tony, we are thrilled here at Fox, and best of luck joining that early show. We're glad you're on our side.
I appreciate it, guys. It's good to be here.
All right, that's Tony Gonzalez.
I knew he was going to be a good player. I'd be lying if I thought he would have the career that he had. No one could have predicted that.
Here's a penalty flag down as the pass is caught out on the edge by Cody Core.
Pass interference, offense number 12. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
They get Alex Erickson.
As his father and so many others have run over the years.
Hand off to Mixon, trying to find somewhere to go. Eventually into the arms of Fabian Moreau. There's Ross in motion. Set up a screen for Mixon. Avoided 1 tackle, couldn't avoid the second as Martrell Spate.
Hasn't been good in this game either, Joe. And
3rd down here, pass incomplete. Erickson the target.
Like I said, they've been struggling on 3rd downs, getting off the field, going back to last year, and then of course in this ball game, but they are able to make a big stop there.
That was Holsey, a backup cornerback who's played well this preseason. Crossing the 35, and after a 51-yard punt. Redskins down by 4. Handoff is to Pirine, and the rookie picks up a yard.
We punched the ball in there. They got their juices flowing. Then they got rhythm. Then they got going. Then defense, we gave up that first series. A couple plays we gave up. Dudes asking about what we have going on right now, and they want to win. You can see that they don't want to be successful. Right now, we're just gonna try to get things going with them. But as always, we try to do our best to keep forward.
On the pregame show as well, right? Maybe you should do something on Joe and Troy one time. Maybe follow them around. Apparently, you just cracked Troy up.
Well, I think we're gonna do a little things.
Here's McCarron going for it all right away, and it's knocked away. Cody Core was the target. Coverage.
Well, Core, he's able to get past him, and the ball was just underthrown enough that it gave Moreau an opportunity to catch up. Ball's inside, he's got a chance, but Moreau's able to get his hand in there, and Moreau has really impressed this Redskins defense.
Yeah, there's a story with Fabian as a handoff is to Trey Carson on 2nd and 10. Fabian Moreau
About Fabian Moreau, he could not have been more impressed and said more positive things.
To the sideline, and the pass broken up. Dunbar.
A real acquisition for them. They think he brings a little swagger to this defense.
Now Jake Elliott with a miss, and that's the first miss this preseason in this kicker duel. Picked up in 2014 from the 49ers. The solid backup for Washington. Gets rid of it and finds a first down. Pass is complete.
Just attempt to pass last season.
Handoff over the left side. That's Mac Brown.
He's shown it here in Washington, a guy who can come off the bench and win games.
On second down, pass is incomplete. It was up for grabs. And he was defended. Let's see, Benet Ben-Wickery almost came away with a pick.
When they made that Super Bowl run, but it's been a tough struggle since that time.
Handoff is to Pirine, and he is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
180!
Handoff to Pirine, and a great play is made by Glasgow. Handoff to Williams. One season in their 49th year in 2016. Good play here up front. That's Spate.
From certainly Bill Walsh. You know, Bengals fans are thinking about how they had Bill Walsh in the building and he left.
Here's a sack on a blitz by Halsey.
Time to bring Halsey off the edge, and he gets home to the quarterback.
This Washington defense is so good. Watch out here. Huber has to pull it down. A flag is down, and Huber is slammed to the ground. Cincinnati, look at this move. Pistol Pete Maravich would be proud.
180!
A minute 22 left, third quarter. Handoff is to Mac Brown, right side. Gets a yard and a half.
What about some of these weapons? We mentioned, you know, John Ross, Joe Mixon. We talked to you about them on the phone. How about seeing them out here today? What did you take away?
Yeah, I think for John, I thought you saw his speed. We get, handing off a jet sweep early on, and that's already at the top of the game. And then for all the work that he puts in, this camp he really focused on the little details of route running, and I would agree with everybody. They're saying it was his best camp.
Rhino!
McCoy hangs in, throws, completes, carrier, touchdown.
Washington spreads out the formation, and they bring in Derek Carrier in the middle of the field, and he runs a little double move on the inside linebacker and gets him to stop.
Pick Jeremy Sprinkle at tight end they like. Niles Paul, Vernon Davis, Jordan Reed. They have a lot of talent at tight end here with Washington. Ready to come into his zone in the NFL.
A lot of teams have shown interest, and I think Washington's smart in keeping him around, but I just feel like the organization owes it to the team to have a backup that if you lose your starter, that all the hard work in the offseason is not for naught.
Jarvion Williams in the backfield. They fake it to him. Roll right. Pass underneath is caught by Steven Carter.
Low Bills. Will Compton then became the odd man out, but he does give them a lot of depth.
Here's a toss to Williams running right.
Give you everything he has. I like the way that he plays. He never stops. Sideline to sideline.
Toss to Williams for a first down. Jarvion Williams says, don't forget about me in the battle with. Handoff. Williams out across the 40, a gain of 3.
I think that's the part that coaches try to impress upon these players.
Here's Williams again. And Williams is flipped by Tevin Homer, but after a gain of 16.
They improve your roster as much as possible, so they're making a showing for everybody.
Jarvion Williams is making a showing, bouncing this one to the outside and taking it inside the 40, a gain of 5. Second and 5. How about more Williams?
obviously. He knows the offense better, and I think it's good that it's good for both Redskins and Eagles that they're opening up, within the division. So you're familiar with the opponent. You get a chance to hunt who's going to be the hammer within the running game.
Good throw by McCarron, and Erickson takes it down near the 17.
There's this level.
On first down, McCarron barely had to move, and a pass underneath. Play action to Williams. And McCarron just threw it away. No flag. Pass is picked. Intercepted and back the other way. Fish Smithson. Tripped up inside the 35.
Well, Fish Smithson, he's going to read it. He's reading A.J. McCarron. He's a single safety. They're trying to hit the deep post on the outside, or the skinny post, and it's a ball that's just out in front, and Smithson's there to make a play on the ball.
I know it's preseason, but the Fish that saved Washington. After a pick and a 63-yard return by Fish Smithson, as Matt Jones is good for a yard, a penalty on this first play. And then we'll go back to that replay. Smithson.
Holding offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Got away with one, but Smithson got the highlight. Pass is a little late in being delivered.
Walking next to each other, and Seke is even bigger than he is. They got some huge tackles here for the Washington Redskins, biggest I've seen.
Matt Jones on a screen on second down.
And Cole Lawson, what he was able to do, but they're an awfully good bunch protecting the quarterback.
Here's a good throw from McCoy for a first down to Matt Hazel.
Putting the ball where it needs to be within the window. He's just showing some leadership as the veteran guy that he is.
Hand off here to Jones.
The mistakes and the routes, and are they running them the right way? And
hand off is to Matt Jones. Third down coming up. Inactive for the final 9 games. Fumbling his way out of the job. Now on third down, McCoy fires for a first down, and a good throw and catch. Hazel again when his pass protection broke down. First down and goal. Hand off to Matt Jones, and he'll take it to the 4. Flag down.
Holding offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Rhino!
First down and goal. McCoy to the near side of the field. Pass is caught. That's Brian Quick.
Rhino!
McCoy out of the backfield. It's Jones. And a good tackle out there on the edge by Russell in the offseason.
Rhino!
McCoy in the pocket. Surveys. Back of the end zone, dropped. Right into the chest of Brian Quick. So now a short 26-yard try by Dustin Hopkins. 3 for 3. 5 for 5 in the preseason. The third stringer, Jeff Driscoll. We'll find out in a moment. The drive will start at the 25.
The pylon, but nothing with a weapon, a gun, a bow and arrow, nothing of that sort. But they're going to have some more fun, and I do think that will be kind of a kick.
Scott Driscoll, by the way, Jeff can run for Cincinnati. Keeps it again. Why not? Cuts back. Picks up 9.5. They're going to give him 10. It looks like
reads, poor throws, some penalties, things like that we just have to correct if we want to be as good as we hope we can be.
You know, and there's been injuries, obviously. You talked to us about that. You really haven't had Jordan Reed. You know, Doxson's been out as well. We didn't have him today. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Yep. See ya.
Joe?
Aaron, thanks. How about that 30-yarder to Kermit Whitfield? Troy, you and I looked at each other like, whoa. I mean, we know Driscoll can run. Nice way to start. Driscoll in the shotgun, 2nd and 6. Keeps it. Will run left for the first time. Gets a block. and hops out of bounds with a first down.
These coaches are taking advantage, and they have here on this drive with Driscoll.
Finally, Jarvion Williams gets stopped. Driscoll throws it away, and there's a penalty flag.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, defense number 38. Pass interference, offense number 17. The penalty's offset. Second down.
Driscoll keeps it, and now the Redskins are ready. I mean, come on. Not that he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but who knows? Driscoll underneath and swallowed up is Jarvion Williams.
Looking for their chance.
Comes down to one play. Driscoll floats it. End zone. Pass is broken up. No flags. And the Redskins will hang on to win their first game of the preseason.
And Josh Norman is the happiest guy on the team. You see McKinnon, there was some contact again before the ball got.
Ronald Patrick will snap it. Boyd takes a knee, and Marvin Lewis has had enough. So is Jay Gruden. That'll do it. Final score 23-17. Washington beating Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis heading into his 15th season with the Cincinnati Bengals.